Hey, so this is a little bit different video than most of my videos on my channel, but my truck was stolen. And I'll tell you, you don't feel a personal violation like that until your truck is actually stolen. And I thought, like, I live in a good neighborhood, I live in a good area of the city. I thought this will never happen to me, and sure enough, it happened. So Monday night, I dropped my truck off here, you can see on the map, at the dealer. Not a dealer, but like a shop. And it was basically, see this little door? There's a little slot right by that door where you can put your key in for the drop. So I put it in the night drop box for the keys, and then I left it. And you can see there's also a tree right there. My truck was parked basically right in front of that tree. So what happened is, across the way here, you can see there is a mall. There's a huge mall. And I'm thinking that the thieves watched this place. And I think that they saw me drop it off, and then somehow they fished my key out of the drop box, and then they just simply got in, drove away. So I was like, oh crap. So the place called me and they said, are you dropping your truck off today because it needed a repair? And I was like, it's already there. It's out front. It's right by the tree in the parking lot, right across from the first bay, where their like night drop box thing is. And he said, no, it's not. And I was like, ooh, okay. Is my key there? And he said, no. And I said, okay. And he goes, yeah. I'm like, what do? He goes, call the cops. So I called the cops. I called 911, and they're like, no, you call the non-emergency number and they'll take care of you. So I did that. And basically they take a report, and then they basically tell you, yeah, you're never going to see that again. Like, it's gone. It's either on its way overseas to be resold in like Belgium or something like that, or they took it for a joyride and then they torched it or drove it into a cornfield and wrecked it or whatever it may be. They're like, you're done. Like, forget it. It's not going to happen. So I was devastated. So my wife made a post on Facebook about it, just saying like, here's some pictures. Here's what it looks like. Please share with everybody you know. It was stolen Monday night. And sure enough, my daughter shared it on Snapchat. One of her friends saw it, and one of her friend's cousin actually saw the truck. Like, legit saw it. So they saw it downtown in my city. So it went from here all the way, I'll zoom out a bit, all the way downtown. And it was found way, way down here. Actually up here. It was found, right in this area. So right in here. I'm not going to say exactly where, because I don't really want the thieves to change what they're doing so that they can be caught again by the police who are now watching that area like hawks. So anyway, she called me. She said, yeah, it's sitting on the side of the road downtown. So I'm like, oh boy, I actually had a webinar that I had to do at 11 o'clock. And I was kind of like, what do I do? So I'm like, yeah, I got to skip the webinar. Like, the only time in my life I've skipped a webinar was right then. So I drive down and I get it. Well, I pull around the corner and sure enough, it's right there. So I'm like, my heart is going a million miles a minute. I'm like, there's my truck. I have the key. I can just park my wife's car and I can walk over and drive it away. And I was like, crap, but I have my wife's car. What do I do here? Because she was in the shower at the time, so she couldn't come down with me. And we have like, our daughter was with us too, and there was nobody else home, so couldn't really leave her. And I didn't really want to bring my daughter and wife down there, just in case something happened. So I pull around, I'm sitting there, and I had called the cops on the way down, and I'd said, like, I found my truck, I'm driving to it now, I don't know if it's there, can you please send a unit to this address? And they're like, yeah, we'll send one when one's available. I'm like, come on, man. Like, I was panicking. I'm like, I need a police car there. I need somebody with a gun there in case these people have a gun or there's a gang of them. And if I walk up to my truck and get in my truck, are they going to shoot me for getting in my truck? And the police aren't even there to help me? Like, so I pull around, I wait down the road, and I was on the phone with my wife, and I'm like getting really mad. I was getting very angry. And I had, I just wanted to go up and get my truck and drive it away so that the thief couldn't get it anymore. Anyway, two officers came on their like mountain bikes, of all things, which whatever, that's no problem. They pulled up, and they pulled up to my truck, and then I pulled up to them. I said, yeah, that's it. And I pulled over, got out, came over, gave them my ID and everything. They started doing their investigation, and that there's a bunch of houses and things with security cameras, and there's a garage that has a security camera down the road, and they're still investigating. But the one officer opened up the door, and on the floor of the driver's side there was actually a receipt. They had gone to a fast food restaurant that morning, and the receipt was there, and it had the date, time, what they ordered, and everything. We don't know if they used a bank card or paid with cash, but if they used their bank card, we got them. If they went to, like, this restaurant has cameras, right? So we can get an ID of the person. So that's also a good thing. As well as the place where it was stolen from has, oddly enough, doesn't have security cameras. Why wouldn't you? Like, you need them. You're a business. But the place next door had them. So I think the police were contacting them too. As well, when I was standing there with my wife and I was about to get in my vehicle and like take it back, because we checked it all over, it was a little messed up, like a dirt, like they had gone through everything on the inside and like thrown it on the floor, and there was a couple other things that weren't mine in there that I don't know what they had done, but there was like a cash register case in there as well. But so they went through it. I was about to get in, and then this car pulls around the corner, and it was a woman driving it, and she just kind of sat there. And then we looked over, and she looked like she was looking at us. So my wife's like, "Oh, okay, I got to get that license plate, because maybe that seems suspicious, what she was doing, the driver of the car." So she stopped, and then she sat there for a bit, and then she pulled out around, and then she pulled up down the road and stopped again, as if like, "What do I do? They're stealing my stolen vehicle. Like, it's my truck. Like, F you, right?" And then the woman in the car turned around the corner. So I'm like, I'm gonna follow her, because I want to catch who did this, and I want them punished. Because you don't mess with other people's property. That's not cool at all. Not cool. So I followed her, and I made a quick right on a road where I just had an instinct that she went down that road. I don't know if she did or not, but the lady in the car had actually looped back around, almost as if she was coming back to that area where I got in my stolen truck and was driving away. So I pulled up behind her. She pulled over on the side of the road, and she put her blinker on, and I got my camera out, took a picture, got her license plate, got her make, model, everything of her car. She went to put it into reverse, and then I pulled around her because I wanted to see the driver, and I got a very good look at the driver, so I know exactly who you are. So when the police come to me and they're like, "Can you identify her?" I'll be like, "Yep, I can," and they're gonna be in deep shit for this. So anyway, it got me thinking, like, I got it back, but now I have to. I had to get it rekeyed because they had the key, so they could, like, if they see my truck again, they could hop in and drive away with it. So I'm like, I had to get it rekeyed. I had to get it detailed, because I don't know what they were doing, or I don't know what they did with it. They burned half a tank of gas in one day. So I don't know if they went on a long road trip or something and then came back. And there's also like some stuff that wasn't mine that was in there. That one was like a cover of a cash register. So I don't know what's going on with that. But the key is I got it back. So it got me thinking, like, what do these people do, right? So here's, like, in Ontario, 28 charge after Ontario police bust auto theft organizations. So there are whole rings of, like, I don't know if it's like organized crime or whatever, but here's one, like, this was in July, end of July, and we're in August, beginning of August right now. More than 200 stolen cars have been recovered. 28 people have been charged, including an unspecified number of Service Ontario employees. That's government employees. In connection with the dismantling of 3 auto theft-based criminal organizations that operated out of Ontario and Saskatchewan. So I guess they've been investigating them for a while, but they caught them. Now, and this is total just me thinking out loud, like, the place where mine got stolen, there was actually another one stolen 4 weeks prior to that, of another big SUV that was stolen. Same situation. They didn't get it back, but they messaged my wife on Facebook and told her that, yeah, we dropped ours off there and it got stolen too. So these drop boxes are supposed to be super secure and safe. You're not supposed to be able to get the keys out of them at all. It's just, everybody I've said this to is like, that seems really fishy. And I'm like, I've used this company for 13 years now, and I've always brought my stuff to them, and I really trusted them. and that trust is gone. It's completely gone. I don't trust them at all. I will not bring a vehicle back there again, because when I called them and said, can I drop my truck off the night before? They're like, yeah, that's fine. I'm like, so it's safe and everything, right? Yeah, that's fine. That made no mention of a vehicle that had been stolen 4 weeks before I did that. So to me, it seems very fishy. It seems like, is somebody there doing something that they shouldn't be doing? I don't know. This is all hearsay. But then I read stories like this, and these are like government employees who are into these major like auto rings. And apparently what happened, so I was like, okay, what would have happened if I didn't get it back? So what they do is they'll either take them to a shop and they'll chop them up and sell them for parts, or they'll take them and go commit a crime, and then they'll just like put it in a field and torch it, or they'll drive it to like a port and they'll literally load it onto a container ship and send it overseas, where they'll sell it to some connection overseas for like, you know, if you have a $50,000 vehicle, it's worth 50,000, and they sell it for like 20, they're making 20,000 for nothing. So they don't care. And then they can resell it in that country for even more. So I think there are a lot of like organized auto theft rings out there. And I think what they do, clearly one of their ways is to like watch garages and mechanic shops and just see, like, is a truck being dropped off? Did he put the key in the drop box? If he put it in the drop box, then we can get it out. So I don't know how they do it. I think they must have, like, I literally have right here, I bought this little camera, and this is like I can hook it to my iPhone and I can look in. So I use this for some drywall I was doing in the side of my office here, but I'm thinking they could use that and their phone and look in the box for the key, and then they could like have like a magnet or something. They could have that magnet attached to the little key ring, then they could easily pull it out, or a little hook or something. So all I'm saying is, the reason I'm shooting this is to document it for myself, so that when I'm like 20 years from now, I'm like, what happened with your truck? I'll be like, oh, here, go here and you can see it. But also to kind of warn people that don't do it. Don't do the overnight drop. Just don't do it. Unless it's a place that has a security guard at night, multiple cameras, and they block off all the exits and entrances. Don't do it. So it's just not safe anymore, because these car rings are out there and they will get it. And I even talked, like I had OnStar in my truck, but I didn't have an account. I let the account expire or something, but I called them and I said, hey, can you track this? And they said, no, it's disabled right now. Like, disabled as in I don't have an account. And I was like, well, can you like turn it on your end just to see? And they said, honestly, even if we could, like, these car thieves are so smart now that they can disable any car alarm and any like OnStar thing in a heartbeat. So even if we could track it, it's gone. Like you won't be able to track it. They can see that, they know every vehicle and what kind of systems they have, and that's what they'll do. So she's like, the best thing you can do is the club. That's that little thing that goes on the steering wheel. So I'm like, the club, really? But she said, yeah, at least it deters them a little bit. Like, they can certainly cut it in a heartbeat if they really wanted to. But if they're in a parking lot at like 3 in the morning, sitting there with a hacksaw or with some, now you have the Sawzall that you can bring, making a lot of noise, they're taking a bigger risk. And they might skip that vehicle and go for one that didn't have it. So it's more of a deterrent. It's not the be-all, end-all, but needless to say, I ordered 2 of them on Amazon now, just because I want to make sure that I've got my vehicles as safe as possible from here on out. Even if they'll be going in my garage now when they're at home, like permanently. But yeah, so I shot this video just to kind of let you guys know what's happening, what happens if they steal a truck. And this is cool too. I Googled it, and you get all this information. It's like the offense becomes a felony. Now, this is probably a U.S. result. Punishable by 2, 3, or 4 years in prison and a $10,000 fine. The same enhanced penalty of 2, 3, or 4-year felony sentence applies if the person has a prior felony conviction or convictions of joyriding, grand theft auto, or any felony in theft involving a vehicle. So who pays for it? Well, the insurance company, that's an accident, but the insurance company will pay for it, but it hurts everybody because then premiums go up across the board as they have to pay out for more and more of these. And there's a minimum sentence there. Oh, and the most stolen vehicle. This is cool. Ford F-150s. and then Hondas, and then Chevys, and then Dodge Rams. So there you go. Mine falls into that category. What happens if I leave the key in the car and it gets stolen? If you have comprehensive coverage on the vehicle, then you're generally covered if it's stolen, even if you left the keys in the car. So yeah, that's an old fallacy, right? If you leave the key in there, it won't matter. But anyway, so I shot this just so you... Oh, there's Ontario Stolen Trucks. There's a Facebook group. I didn't even know that happened. So you can go here, and if you want to keep an eye out for stolen trucks, there you go. Stolen August 7th. Stolen August 3rd. Keep an eye out. Like, my God. Just... That's actually good. How to put this on my truck after I got it back from being stolen. Oh. Well, that's interesting. Like a whole key lock. Oh, had to. Oh, okay. Anyway, that's like... If yours does get stolen, what I would suggest is make a post on Facebook. Ask everybody to share it. And the younger crowd, your kids or whatever, get them to share it on Snapchat, because it was actually Snapchat that ended up where the fella saw it, called me, or called my daughter, and then he called me. So make a post, get everybody to share it, and then you might get your vehicle back. For me, the female officer who was there said in her 13 years doing it, she'd never seen a vehicle recovered in the condition that mine was. And it was pretty good condition. Like, obviously they had gone through it. I had a whole bunch of like serviettes in the console, just from like Tim Hortons or McDonald's or whatever. So I don't know what they did with those, but it was kind of messy, but it wasn't, there wasn't any serious damage done to it. So the dealer's given it the once over, and they're also it's already been rekeyed, and yeah, it's going in the garage from now on. Anyway, getting your vehicle sucks. Stolen sucks. It's a personal violation. Let me know in the comments if you've had anything stolen before. I know this has not got anything to do with anything about my channel, but I wanted to share it with you, just to kind of, I think when you talk about things too, it makes you feel better. And I've told all my friends and family the story, but I just wanted to like document it for the future for me too. So if you've been through this, let me know in the comments. It absolutely sucks. If you got it back, let me know. If you didn't get it back, let me know. Tell your story. Let's hear them. So post in the comments below, let me know. And I hope it never happens to you. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.